What's up, guys, and welcome to the 52 book challenge, which is basically just a challenge to make sure I have content for this channel and to allow myself to catch up on some of the books that I've been lacking behind. This whole stack of books, if you couldn't tell. Well, I love reading, I just haven't been doing it lately because I've been focused on other things, and I figured if I'm reading all these books, I should probably make some videos for it to review it. I haven't really reviewed books before. I think I may have like one book review on my channel earlier, don't quote me on that. But I figured I'd give it a shot, so this is going to be I'm more of a movie guy, so it's more of a movie guy's perspective on this. And speaking of movie perspective, the first book up is, as you can tell by the title, the prequel to Rogue One, the new Star Wars movie that came out in December. Really awesome, check it out. Rogue One Catalyst, James Luceno. So to have a little backstory on how I feel about this book, because I feel like it can affect my review for this one, is I love Star Wars. It's one of my favorite. I have a couple pop figures up there I'd pull down of Star Wars, the other collectibles, reading the Star Wars comics, so big into Star Wars, even the extended universe. Not the old EU, I never got around to reading any of that, because when I started to want to read about it, they were like, hey, not canon anymore, don't worry about it. So I have dug into the new EU books. I think I own all of them. I think there's around like 15 new canon ones that have been published since all these canon ones have come out. I haven't read all of them, but I do have them, and through this challenge I will read them, hopefully. Though I am going to space them out for people that don't care about Star Wars to hear about. And Rogue One specifically, the movie, which is the prequel to. Love the movie. It's my probably third favorite Star Wars movie. I have to see it a couple more times before I decide on the precise ranking, but really enjoyed it. But I did feel that it has probably the weakest first act in any Star Wars movies. Which brings me to, once again, this book, Rogue One Catalyst. Go pick it up. It really helps fix the opening. In fact, that's the thing I love most about this book, is how it really helps make the movie, which should have had an opening crawl, by the way. No more standalones without opening crawls, Star Wars. Lucasfilm, listen to me, Disney, opening crawl, put in the movie. Even the book has an opening crawl. But without the opening crawl, this book is kind of the opening crawl to it. It's way better than just an opening crawl, but it definitely helps set up, especially that beginning scene in the movie, which is kind of just, hey, this guy you don't know shows up on a planet you don't know, takes away this person you don't know, and all this stuff you don't know. It definitely helps explain these characters that we don't get to spend a lot of time with. In fact, the only character in the book that has like a big role in the movie, most of them have an important role, but the one with the big role is Orson Krennic, and it even improves his character. Other good things in the movie is these characters. All the main characters are great. Galen, it definitely helps, Galen Erso, definitely helps explain his mindset with him being both the catalyst for the Death Star and the catalyst for Rogue One in general. It helps explain how he got into this position and why he decided to do the things he did. It definitely establishes him as a gray character more than I think the movie did, and I enjoy gray characters, so I think they did a good job on that. Second main character is his wife, Lyra Erso, who is like Galen's light side, and it also has Galen's dark side, which is Orson Krennic, his old friend from school. In fact, him and Orson and him, Galen Erso, have a very Emperor-Anakin relationship, I feel. And I think that's portrayed really well in this book. And I mentioned that it's the light and the dark side of Galen because it's very symbolic of the Force in this. While the Force is not a big factor in the book itself, though Lyra does believe in the Force, not being a Jedi, his relationship with these two characters kind of represents a Jedi's relationship with the Force, and I think that's done very well. We also have two other characters that have point of views in this, not direct point of views, it's third person point of view, but the way I like to read my books, much like Game of Thrones, where it's like it focuses on one character, so it's limited third person. If you're into writing, you know what that means. But the other two characters are Haas Obit, who is a Han Solo type. I think he's done really well, and I think he has the biggest arc, though it may be predictable for a Han Solo type. He has the best arc in the book. And a small point of view character is Tarkin, who is the weakest of this because he has the least chapters, but he's like a direct opposition to Orson. Which brings me to the second great thing about this book, which is what the plot deals with. I think this is a very good book for non-Star Wars fans to jump into because it doesn't deal a lot with Star Wars stuff. Even though it's about the building of the Death Star in a lot of ways, even the Death Star itself isn't named Death Star. It's just kind of a battle station. And what's great about this is that it's very Game of Thrones-esque, as it's more of a political thriller, where it's these two characters, Tarkin and Orson Krennic, kind of battling each other, using the other players as pawns and moving them around, especially Haas a bit. And it really shows that Star Wars can do this kind of political Game of Thrones style story and be good, unlike when they tried to do it in the prequels and be bad. And it's a very well done plot. I don't want to get into spoilers, but in a lot of ways, the way that they overthink themselves, thinking everyone's playing this game, is a very unique way to give different twists and turns. And it has our main characters, the Ursos, kind of being almost like the Starks in the scenario, where they're playing the game out of necessity, not out of want to, where the other two, Tarkin and Orson, clearly want to improve themselves in the situation. So plot, really well done, written beautifully well, and very accessible, like I said. But that's the good things. There are some bad things. While the main characters are great, the four main ones, and Tarkin, also, the other point of view, good, a lot of the side characters I feel could have been improved. There's several times where introduced to Galen's like past schoolmates who are also doing research, and they're supposed to be important, and they introduce things that could be interesting to continue in the story, but due to various circumstances, they each are removed from the story for different reasons. And it's like you introduced to this character, which could have been cool, but because you didn't like add on to it, because you didn't really give them a purpose, you end up not really being that cool. One side character in particular is Saw Gerrera, who, as you know, is in Rogue One. And while this novel does kind of explain why he would be in Rogue One like he is, I still feel like it's... I like my stories to serve the character instead of characters serving the story, and it feels like this character was only here to serve the fact that he was in Rogue One. He could have been used better, especially for someone that has a cool backstory. Like, I just watched the Rebels episode, and I thought, okay, this makes sense for him to be here, and they used him well. I feel like Rogue One Catalyst not really used that well. And the other big downside here is the aspect of time. This novel takes place anywhere from 3 to 5 years, and I'm not really sure. And that's kind of a problem, is that I'm not sure, because they'll just jump a couple months here and there, and they don't really make a big deal of it. So it wasn't until a certain scene with Haas Obet where it's like, yeah, I hadn't seen Krennic in years. And I was like, what, really? I mean, that was only like 10, 12 chapters ago. All that time passed, and they didn't really emphasize it enough to where I feel certain aspects could have been improved if they would have focused more on the fact that characters have been doing certain things for a certain amount of time, and emphasize it more to where I could pay attention to know that happened. But besides that, without being nitpicky or anything, that's all the downsides I can see in this novel. It is great, especially for non-Star Wars fans and Star Wars fans alike. If you're someone like me who thought Rogue One could have been better, if it would have started better, this will definitely help improve that for you. And this could become... if this stuff was included or hinted at more, Rogue One could have became my second favorite Star Wars novel. So, go over the pros again. Plot, accessibility, main characters. All great. Good story. Enjoy it. Espionage aspects. Good story. Emphasizing good story, because it's good story. Downsides, secondary characters, and misuse of time, or explaining time. I don't know how you say that. But overall, I'm going to have to give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm doing a 10-point rating for my books, so just get used to that. Which basically means that it's a fantastic novel that's held back by a few flaws from being flawless. It was almost there. If they would have handled time a bit better, if they would have focused better on the secondary characters, I'd give this a 5, but I couldn't. But anyways, like I said at the beginning, I suggest picking it up and trying it. It'll definitely help improve Rogue One for you, and I feel like it's a good way to introduce someone else to Star Wars. It doesn't... It hints at a lot of Star Wars things without actually specifying it. It uses the Force, but doesn't explain the Force. Very good, very worth checking out. So that's the first book in the 52-book challenge. I'll try to have one of these up once a week, but it's more about averaging 52 than finishing one a week. But the next book up is Cuckoo's Calling by, I don't know how to pronounce that name because it's really J.K. Rowling. And, oh look, my bookmark fell out. It's a really cool bookmark, and it's good for it. It's Gryffindor symbol. Yeah, I'll just slip back in there. I know where I was. But yeah, that's going to be the next book up. If you want to follow along with me, go ahead and pick this little thing up. it's good so far. I don't want to spoil my thoughts on it too much, but see you guys next week. And if you want to stay tuned for a little channel update so I can just say what's going to go on with this channel besides 52 book channel this year, see you. So update time. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't do a lot of work on my channel last year, mostly because in the video aspect I was focusing on my other channel, Internet Scholars. Go check it out. That should be coming back soon. Not entirely sure in what capacity, but we're going to talk about this channel right here. Obviously, I'm doing the 52 book challenge. It says in the video, mentioned earlier, so expect at least 52 book reviews. If I'm really lucky, I'll learn to speed read again and be able to get through these books super quick and maybe get more than 52 books. Who knows, but at least 52 books going down. Also on this channel, there will be movie reviews. I'm going to try to start watching a movie a week, which is something I didn't do last year. I didn't watch a lot of movies, but try to do at least a movie a week starting February when good movies start coming out. And if it doesn't start then, it will definitely start by summer when the blockbusters start coming out. Cover all those. Also, potentially, comics cost a lot of money, but I've been reading a lot of comics, so maybe expect some arc reviews of comics. Though I'm gonna have to put a stop to my comics right now because money is tight. And last of all, TV reviews. I know in the past I did a lot of TV reviews, so don't expect a lot of that from this channel. I may try to start doing season finales, maybe reviewing full seasons of shows, mostly the Greg Berlanti superhero shows on TV. Not 100% sure on that, but yeah, basically this is going to focus on movie reviews and book reviews in the future. A lot of my other effort will be put into that other channel. I also want to check out Internet Scholars, potentially link in the doobly-doo there. Yes, I just stole that from Blog Brothers. Deal with it. Check out the podcast. That will definitely be coming back, which isn't actually on the other channel. It's on SoundCloud, but that will be coming back within the month. Not entirely sure on the other videos on that channel, but this channel, all reviews, all series. And unlike last year when we would do discussions about movies on that other channel, I will still do a proper review here, and scores are officially coming back. As you notice, my book reviews had a 5-point scale. Well, it's a 10-point scale because 4.5. Movie reviews will have official scores now on the 20-point scale, which is 1 to 10. I may also, forgot to mention, start doing video games, which will also be on a 1 to 10 scale. So thank you guys for sticking around for this little extra bit. If you did, that means you're fan or family, either way. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for enjoying this, and thank you for letting me enjoy making these. I really missed doing this kind of stuff last year, so hopefully I can continue to do it this year. Yeah, just rambling on now. I like rambling. Not a lot rambling in the future. Maybe there will be. Who knows? I like rambling. I can talk a long time. Notice at the end of the podcast I always ramble a little bit. I really should have stopped by now, but I just want to emphasize rambling is fun. See you guys again.